side, yeah. Pick a side, just pick a side, stupid. Pick a side. Pick a side, just pick a side, stupid. Pick a side, yeah. Pick a side, just pick a side, stupid. Pick a side. Pick a side, just pick a side, stupid. Pick a side, yeah. Pick a side, just pick a side, stupid. Pick a side. Pick a side, just pick a side, stupid. Pick a side, yeah. Pick a side, just pick a side, stupid. Pick a side. Pick a side, just pick a side, stupid.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. This is Pick a Side Stupid. This is our trivia show. Of course, this week we are talking about scary movies, and I'm here with my co-host May Keep. Hey May, what's up?
Hey Sean, not much. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. I've been watching some scary movies this week to prepare for the show today and Friday. Have you watched any horror movies lately?
No, so I was just explaining how I just moved recently. So my policy is to not watch scary movies like for at least 4 or 5 months after I move somewhere new, so that I don't get like too afraid of my new place. But I did read the Wikipedia summaries of some movies to see if it would be too scary to watch, and they all were.
So you thought about it. You kind of dipped your toes a little bit.
I thought about like I was like, oh, maybe if I rewatch some old ones I've seen before, but then I refamiliarized myself and I was like, nah, too scary, not gonna do it. So.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I've been watching like not really scary movies. Like I watched An American Werewolf in London, which is kind of like more comedy than anything, and Hocus Pocus, not a very scary movie. But I the last couple nights I was like trying to think of which ones I should watch, and as I'm like scrolling through Netflix, I'm trying to think of, it's like 1 a.m, and I'm like, do I really want to start this at 1 a.m and have to go to bed like right afterwards?
Yeah, 1 a.m is Office rerun time, and that's kind of that's it.
Yeah, I hear you. So we also have two guests this week that will be battling it out in trivia. We have our good friend Mike Giordano with us. Hey, Mike.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm just, surviving.
Yeah, for sure. Nothing scarier than this pandemic.
Yes. No. Yeah. I haven't even really felt a lot of oomph to watch horror movies lately. Basically the same thing. Hocus Pocus was what I watched last night, actually. Fun little fact there. Oh wait, no. You know what? I'm not even gonna say it. It could be a question later.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think most of the horror movies people are going to watch this year will just be like either Hocus Pocus or a Nightmare Before Christmas. Like that's probably going to be about it.
Yeah, but there's like politicians in Nightmare Before Christmas. There's a whole character, a two-faced mayor.
That's true.
I don't need any more of that.
That could be a little bit much. Yeah, you're right. Good point. All right. Well, we also have our friend Scott Oddo here. Hey, Scott.
Hey, Sean.
How's it going?
Good.
Are you watching any horror movies to warm up for the Halloween season?
Yeah, at the beginning of the month, I just DVR'd a bunch of them, so I've just been slowly kind of watching them. Mostly a lot of the Halloween series I've been watching, and watched An American Haunting the other day, which I didn't think was very scary. But...
Yeah. And you, I mean, you get into the Halloween spirit with your decorations on your house. I know, because I lived with you. And, Scott has this big zombie looking, like, what do you call him? Your butler?
Butler. He's a butler,
yeah.
Yeah. Zombie butler, yeah.
And when we had lived together in Quincy, he had him up for Halloween, and he's just inside the door. And
I forgot to mention it.
Yeah, I went back after I'd moved out. I went back to pick something up, and I forgot that thing was there. And it was like after Halloween, and it scared the shit out of me because it's just it's human size and it looks like a zombie, and it was in the house. But
sounds unnecessary. Sounds too scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the kind of thing when I first got it and I was living by myself. Like it was in the living room and I'd get up and it would scare me. Like every day I came home, it would scare me. There's a guy in my living room. It's like, oh no, I did that.
Wouldn't you just be afraid that it would like move a little while you were looking at it?
No, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm scared of.
I like how Scott laughed like he wasn't taking that question seriously, but I feel like May was kind of serious.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Totally serious. Possible.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, we have a bunch of categories to talk about tonight. May will be asking all the questions as usual. And our categories are monster. So they're like different kinds of movies, having to do with horror or scary movies. So it's monster, suspense, true story, paranormal, and wild card. So those will be the categories that you guys can choose from. We're going to ask, like 6 questions each or something like that?
Yep, yeah, we usually do 6.
Yeah, unless we have a tie, and then maybe we'll do one more that it's just like first person to answer. But you'll each get your own question. You'll have a minute to answer it, and we will award points based on whether or not you got the correct answer, and also how much we liked how you got to that answer. You'll each start with 10 points, because there's no reason that you should know any of these answers to these questions. So right now you're starting off at a tie, 10 to 10. All right, so May, who are we going to have go first here?
So my first question to decide who goes first is, are either of you fans of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the series?
Nope.
No. Okay. All right. That's a big -1 point for both of you. So now you're both at 9 points,
Both
starting the game off there.
Got it.
All right. I guess we'll go with Scott because he has a zombie butler, and that's pretty Halloween-y. So, all right, Scott, you get to start off. Which category do you want to start with?
I'll go with monsters.
Monster. All right, great. And just to clarify too, you guys are each going to get at least 1 question from each category, and then a 6th kind of bonus question. So, all right. So your first question. This is a monster movie, sort of. Which movie required Tom Cruise to hang upside down for 30 minutes in order to properly apply his makeup? Your options are A, Tropic Thunder, B, Interview with a Vampire, C, The Mummy, or D, The Others.
Others. The Interview with the Vampire, I don't think the makeup was that complicated, right? So he shouldn't have had to be hanging upside down for that one. So it was what, Tropic Thunder? What was the third one that wasn't The Others?
The Mummy.
The Mummy. He wasn't the mummy in that, I don't think, was he? So
I don't think anyone saw that movie. There's no way to know.
So I'm going to go with Tropic Thunder because there was a lot of the rubber and all that stuff he had to put on. So I think it's the most elaborate one out of those 4. So I'm going to go with Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, I like your logic there, and I probably would have guessed the same. But turns out Interview with a Vampire had some pretty extensive makeup.
Really?
Yeah, they had them hang upside down for a half an hour to make their veins bulge out a little bit, and then they would trace the veins with makeup lines.
Ah, I thought it was just like maybe method acting. They were just hanging upside down to.
Yeah, kind of bat-like, I guess. I don't know.
I feel like there's a better way to get the veins to pop out on somebody's head than to make them upside down for half an hour.
That was my first thought, but then I was like, I couldn't come up with anything.
I don't know. I think if you choked somebody, like if you're like somebody choked Tom Cruise so that his veins will pop out, some like key grip would be like, yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah. Probably fighting over it.
That's fair. Well, I like the logic, so I'm gonna give Scott 1 point. What about you, Sean?
I'm gonna add a point to that. I'll give him a point just because I think that I also thought Tropic Thunder was the most elaborate makeup job that Tom Cruise has had to deal with. And I also like the idea of watching him as that character upside down. So that'll bring you up to 11 points, Scott.
All right. Thanks.
All right. So Mike, you are a little bit behind, starting with 9 points. So you need 2 points to catch up. Again, you're going to get a question from each category, but where would you like to start? Oh, I think you're muted, Mike.
Maybe it's a ghost that's haunting his computer.
Could be.
They're just hitting the mute button.
You have to use the chat.
Oh.
He's unmuted, but it's not getting volume for some reason. Right with the headphones. Headphones always screw up Zoom and stuff.
Yeah, it was working before.
That's true. Yeah, we were talking to him earlier.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hello?
Oh, yep. There we go.
There we go. Okay. I just had to change microphones, I guess.
Great. I'm giving you a point for doing some really quick troubleshooting with your sound there. So you're back up to 10.
All right.
I'm going to go with paranormal. Because after all that tech issues, I feel I wish I was dead.
Okay. So your question is, this is about, so there was a particular film which used no-name actors and a shoestring budget with the idea that they would reshoot with better actors once the studio picked up the film. However, this plan was rejected because the original shoot was so scary. So which film did this happen for? Your options are A, The Blair Witch Project, B, Paranormal Activity, C, The Conjuring, or D, The Shining.
Well, I feel like you got to rule out The Shining right away because I don't think Kubrick would put up with a shoestring budget on anything. And then when it comes to, what was the third one again?
The Conjuring.
The Conjuring is all CGI. So it's one of the first two. And I got to say, because I'm a big fan of the Blair Witch Project, I'm pretty sure the whole point of it was supposed to be super low budget the entire time. So I'm going to go with Paranormal Activity.
That is correct. Great job. I believe our tradition now is the first correct answer gets 5 points, right?
I'm pretty sure that's right.
Yeah, I think we've been, so that's 5 points to you. Yeah, the original idea, he was gonna create the movie with like no-name actors, sell it to a studio, and then recast it. But the director like loved how scary it was, and so convinced the studio to keep it as is.
I thought you meant like they were like, no, we're not gonna put, it's too scary. We're not gonna put actors through that. Like the Screen Actors Guild was against it.
Yeah, but I don't think there's much that they are against.
Yeah, that's it, right. But it was just like scary enough that they're like, let's show it as is. That's great.
Yeah, they did a screening and people walked out because it was too scary, so they decided to keep the actors. Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I learned by reading the Wikipedia page to see if it was too scary for me to watch, and decided that.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that one, so maybe I'll check it out. I think horror movies should have no-name people in it because you need to, for that suspension of disbelief. You can't recognize somebody and be like, oh, well, there's Jack Nicholson, so Yeah.
That's why when I was a kid, I thought the Blair Witch Project was real. So I was freaked out when I was in the theater watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So where does that leave? So Scott, I think you're now trailing by a couple of points.
Yep.
All right. So your categories are suspense, true, paranormal, and wild card. Where do you want to go?
I'll go with suspense.
All right. Okay, your question is about a movie called The Boy. The Boy begins with a married couple hiring a young woman to babysit while they are on vacation. What does the family leave in her care with specific instructions for how to take care of it? Your options are A, a Komodo dragon, B, a girl, C, a life-sized doll, or D, a man-eating plant named Audrey 2.
Okay, well, it's definitely not Audrey 2, because that's a Little Shop of Horrors. I'm pretty sure it's a gremlin, right? It sounds like the plot is like a plot of a Gremlins movie. I think it's a gremlin you're not supposed to feed after midnight. Right? So we have a blow-up doll, a kimono dragon, not a blow-up.
A life-sized doll.
Life-sized doll, a kimono dragon, and what was the other one? A Komodo.
Or a girl.
They took the boy, but they left a girl. Is this a Chinese movie?
I don't know. Sean wrote this question.
No, this is an American movie.
All right, I'm gonna say it's not.
Oh, it might be in the UK.
Oh wait, she's babysitting a boy and the girl, possibly. Is what you're saying? They left a girl with specific instructions on how to feed her.
They hired a young woman to babysit, and the family left specific instructions of how to take care of what? The Komodo dragon, a girl, a life-size doll, or a man-eating plant.
Okay. Well, I would say that the dragon is too obvious an answer. I'm going to go with the life-size doll.
That is correct.
That's right. So yeah, they hire this girl. She comes in and she she's ready for a babysitting gig for the summer. The family's like, we're going away. We want you to watch our son while we're on a two-week vacation. Watch our boy. And then when she shows up at the house, they show her a doll, a life-size doll, and they're like, we want you to leave food by this door at night every night, and just make sure that he's taken care of, and brush his hair once a day. And then, of course, she's like, I'm not doing any of that, but she stays in the house, and then weird stuff starts happening, and she's kind of like haunted by this doll that, like, she never sees the doll move, but like weird stuff starts happening. And
Is it good?
It's creepy.
I feel like I would immediately call 911 if someone was like, feed this doll for me. I would just like,
Yeah. Called child services or whatever.
Yeah, you're not staying at that house. You're gonna be like, no, I'm gonna go home now.
I would leave the country. Yeah, no, thank you. Well, that sounded really scary, so I'm going to give Scott 2 points for even addressing that question.
And he got the correct answer as well, so that's another one. So that's 3. And then I'm going to give him a point for knowing Audrey 2 is Little Shop of Horrors. So that's 4 points right there, which puts him at 15 points, tied with Mike Giordano.
We're in a dead heat. All right, Mike, you can pull into the lead here with your. So you have let me see for categories. You have monster, suspense, true, or wild card available to you.
I am gonna take monsters.
Monster. All right. Okay, your question is about the movie The Mummy, the 1999 classic version, the good one. Okay, so in this film, Brendan Fraser faces many death-defying moments. But when was he in actual grave danger? Your options are A, he lost consciousness during the hanging scene and needed to be revived. B, he was stabbed by accident during a sword fight with one of the mummies. C, he was actually attacked by a swarm of scarab beetles. Or D, he accidentally opened a for real cursed tomb and has been avoiding its consequences ever since.
I'm not sure if he's been avoiding any curses lately. I haven't heard from Brendan Fraser in a while. So I'm gonna rule out D. I feel like it's gotta be the scarabs thing, because it just seems like a thing that would happen to Brendan Fraser in a Brendan Fraser movie. I can imagine it happening too. Him just like looking at the camera, screaming as like we are the scarabs descending upon him. So it's got to be fake. So he's either hanging or stabbed. I feel like there might be a strangulation theme with these questions, so I'm going to go with the hanging thing.
The hanging thing is correct. Yes. Yeah. Got a stunt gone wrong. He choked himself out when he was doing like the hanging scene early in the movie. So, good work. I like that you picked up on the strangulation theme that I didn't even realize as I was writing these questions. So, 2 points to you from me for that.
Yeah, and I'm going to also add a point to this because I think Mike's right that the swarming of beetles is something that would happen to Brendan Fraser. Although it didn't happen on the set of The Mummy, it did happen on the set of Airheads. So another point for that, for knowing that trivia.
I hope he comes back soon. I like Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah. All right. So moving on from that sad note of whatever happened to his career, Scott, you have true, paranormal, and wild card on the table.
Let's do paranormal.
All right. All right. Your question is about the film Poltergeist. So the Poltergeist series is said to be cursed due to the deaths of several actors in the series and some serious onset injuries. What is the alleged origin of this curse? Your options are A, the primary filming location was on a native burial ground. B, the child actors frequently played with Ouija boards while on set. C, the director had wronged a mysterious old woman who threatened him with a curse. Or D, the production crew used real skeletons in one of the filming sequences.
I lost my connection for the last two.
Oh, okay. So C is that the director wronged a mysterious old woman who threatened him with a curse. And D is that the production crew used real skeletons in the filming of one of the scenes.
Okay. That would be the scene at the end where they had the flood and all the skeletons come up. So I don't think it's the first one, even though the movie's about a house built on an Indian burial ground. I don't think they went for that level of realism. I don't think it was that one. I think the little girl in the first one, I think she's too young to be playing with a Ouija board. And the third one is like a plot of the Stephen King book or something. Not quite like Thinner, but close. So I'm going to go with the last one. I think they actually used actual skeletons.
They did. They used real human remains in that movie. And I like your knowledge of the film. You knew what scene we were talking about. You knew that the native burial ground was a plot. So that's 2 points from me.
Okay, and so that's 3 because he got the correct answer, and then I'm also going to give him a point for stalling for time in the beginning there when he claimed that his video had cut out. So I think that brings him up to 19 points, only 1 point ahead of Mike Giordano.
Oh, here we go. This is a close match. Sean, I love the hat.
Remember, this is from last year's Halloween show at the Comedy Studio.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. That was a fun show.
Where I was dressed as a skeleton. And because I shaved my beard, which is gone now also, but because I shaved my beard just for that show to put on makeup, and then I was completely covered in makeup, people didn't recognize me as they were coming in. And I was like looking at comics like, all right, so you're going to be on second. And people were like looking at me like I was crazy. Like, who the hell is this guy?
The hat kind of works as is. Like, you just wear that hat around. I don't think you need. Like,
I'm just going to walk around downtown in Bristol, Tennessee, wearing this hat, just like, hey guys.
I don't know enough about Tennessee, but I feel like maybe it would work. Yeah. All right. So, Mike, you have a chance to catch up here, and you have 3 categories open to you. You have suspense, true, and wild card.
I'm gonna save wild card to the end and go with true.
True. Okay. Your question is about the movie The Amityville Horror. So allegedly, it's based off of the experiences of the Lutz family, who lived in the house for only a month before fleeing and leaving all of their possessions behind. And while their descriptions of the hauntings are contested, what is verifiably true about this house? Your options are A, the family who moved in after them only lasted 2 months before fleeing. B, the family who lived there previously were all murdered by their son. C, a police officer witnessed furniture flying around the room. Or D, the house was burned down.
Man, I think they might all be true, actually.
They're
just like
not. Only one of them is true.
one of them's verifiably true, but I'm
One of
pretty
them's
sure
verifiably true. Yeah.
all of the other ones have been said about the house. Oof. Okay. I feel like I've heard like all of those things about the house, and I think maybe it didn't burn down. Was it burned down or caught fire?
Burned. So I said burned down. It burned down by a religious zealot. I don't think I read that part of it. Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, that's okay. That's more. Oof. And this is what happened right after they moved out. You're saying?
Right. Yeah, when they moved out. Yeah.
Ah,
Or
feel
well,
like
so that was. So I said what else is true about the house? So that was after they moved out. But there's another option of the family who lived there previously was murdered by their son. So that was before they moved in.
So yeah, I would say that it's the murders, because I'm pretty sure that's why everybody talks about the house.
That is correct. Yes. There were a bunch of murders. That's why the house was so cheap. And I'm giving you a point for believing that everything scary could happen at that house, because it seems like a really scary house. So, and you get a point for being right.
That's right.
And Sean might give you a point too. I don't know. Maybe not.
And I'm gonna give Mike a point because I like him. I just like him.
That's the most important point.
Yeah. So, what do we had him at what, 18 points or 18?
Yeah, I think it was 1918.
I don't know.
And then he just got 3 there?
3 points there.
Right.
Yep.
Back in the lead.
So 21. 21.
So it's 21 to 19.
21 to 19.
So.
All right, Scott, you have two categories left. You have true and wild card. Let's see if you can catch up.
All right, let's go with the wild card.
All right. Okay. Who spends the least amount of time on screen in the first film of their respective series?
Oh boy. Yeah.
Okay. Your options are Freddy Krueger, B, Pinhead, C, Jason Voorhees, or D, the shark from Jaws?
Huh. Well, that is a tough question. I have seen all those movies, which helps a
That
little.
is a hard question.
I am not going to dilly-dally. I'm going to go right for the answer here. I'm going to say it's actually, well, I know on Jaws they had a lot of mechanical problems, so they couldn't really film the shark and actually help build up the suspense in the movie. So you really only see him a lot at the end. So I'm going to go with the shark, actually.
That would be my guess too. Sean wrote this question, but the answer is Jason Voorhees.
Ah,
That's
Yeah.
right. In the original, it was Jason's mother that was the killer, and Jason isn't seen through most of the film.
yes.
Yeah. So, and it's odd because I was looking up these things today, and a lot of the villains in these movies are not on screen. A lot of it is about the other people kind of freaking out and the suspense of it. I think Pinhead wasn't even a major character in the first Hellraiser, and he was on screen for 8 minutes. I think Mike Myers maybe was on screen for like 8 or 9 minutes in Halloween in the original. But Jason Voorhees was not really even in Friday the 13th.
Yeah, because it's the mother. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like a little flashback.
Yeah, there's a flashback where you see him, but other than that, he's not seen in
You
it.
got me with that trick question.
Yeah.
Well, I also would have guessed the shark, so that's a point for me, Scott.
Yeah, all right. Thanks.
Well, that'll bring you up to 20, and I am delighted by the fact that I got you with that trick question, so I'm going to give you a point. So that's 21. So you guys are now in a dead heat.
Dead heat, but Mike's got one more question than you. So, all right, Mike, you have
Nice.
suspense and wild card. So you said you wanted to save suspense?
Yeah, let's go with suspense.
Okay, go with suspense. We're saving wild card. Okay, I'm gonna ask you. Yeah, let's ask a question about the film Halloween. So in Halloween, the mask worn by Mike Myers is actually a cheap rubber mask of which person that has been flattened and painted white? Your options are A, Ronald Reagan, B, William Shatner, C, Richard Nixon, or D, Mr. Rogers.
I know this pretty well, and I did a little like practice quiz before we started, and that was also one of the questions. So I'm gonna go with William Shatner.
Oh, all right. Nice. That is correct. Yes. I did not know that, but I guess that is that's like a fun fact, I guess.
Yeah, it's like the only thing I really know about that the whole series.
All right. Well, that's a point from me for knowing something that I did not, just by knowing it, and then a point for getting it correct.
Yeah. And, I'm going to give you 3 points here because, you didn't tiptoe around it. You're just like, you know what? I know this. I also read it earlier on another quiz. This is the answer. You just went right for it. I like it. So that will bring you up to 26 points going into the final questions here.
We got a high-scoring game this week, Sean.
We do. These guys know their stuff.
They do. They really do. All right. So, Scott, your only remaining category is true.
I'll go with wild card.
Oh, no, wait. You...
No, it's just true. I'm just kidding.
No, you already answered a true question. I think
No, I didn't do true yet.
You didn't? Oh.
We did all the other ones.
Oh, okay. I am losing track of my notes here. Okay. So your question is going to be about the movie The Strangers.
Strangers.
In The Strangers, a group of people terrorize and murder a couple staying at a vacation home. When asked why they are murdering the victims, what is their response? Your options are A, because my father was killed by a man with 11 fingers, prepare to die. B, no kink shaming. C, you stole my job. Or D, because you were home.
Okay. Well, the first one is Princess Bride, so it can't be that one. I don't know what no kink shaming is from, but that doesn't sound like a good reason to murder a couple. The last one is their home. What was the one before that?
You stole my job.
You stole my job. Yeah, I mean, I still wouldn't murder a couple. Like only one of them could have stolen the job. If they both didn't steal the job. Either you kill the person and get revenge on them, or you kill their loved one to make them suffer. So I'm going to go with D. They were just home. These people, I didn't see the movie, but these people just sound like crazy, they just want to watch the world burn type of people. So
that is correct. Yeah. That's so you got the right answer. You had the pretty terrifying logic of when to kill a person for revenge and when to kill someone in their family, make them suffer. So that's another point. But I am removing a point because you didn't know the number one rule of Pick a Side Stupid is no kink shaming.
That's right.
So that's 1 point for me.
All right. Well, then I won't also effectively deduct a point for Scott not knowing the no kink shaming rule. I had written it down that I'd have to do that, but we'll just say that each of us took a half a point from him.
Sounds good.
And I am going to give him +1 for knowing the Princess Bride, and +1 because I think that his logic at arriving to this was you wouldn't kill somebody for stealing your job. But then he was like, they did it because they were home, which is a worse reason, I think. But I like that he got there that way. So I'm going to give him 1 more point for that.
All right, so I think that's a net total of 3 points this round.
I think
for
so.
Scott.
So that is 24-26 with Mike in the lead.
And Mike still has a wild card question before we get to our kind of bonus round.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Mike, you have a wild card question.
Okay.
Your question is, because you loved the film so much, I'm going to throw you a Blair Witch Project question. All right?
All right.
So the lead actress in the Blair Witch Project was originally paid $1,000 for her work. After the film ended up grossing over $140 million, what did the studio give to her? Your options are A, a retroactive royalty agreement, B, a one-time payment of $35,000, C, a fruit basket, or D, a cease and desist order to stop making internet videos in her character?
Wow. I know it's not A, because that never happens. That's not allowed to happen in Hollywood. They probably convinced her that they lost money on the deal, if anything. So I gotta say it's probably between the gift basket and the cease and desist letter. But I feel like I would know her name a little bit better if it was D, so I'm gonna go with C, a fruit basket.
Unbelievable. That's correct. Yeah. That was awesome. 3 points for me because you figured it out, right? Like good work there. I'm very impressed.
Yeah, that was a great way of finding the answer there. Just that would be a bigger news story if she was sent to cease and desist. But yeah, I'm going to give you another point too. So that brings you to 31 right now.
Nice.
Holy moly. All right, so Mike has 31. What's Scott's total right now?
Scott is currently sitting at 24.
Scott, you can. I know it seems insurmountable, but you can make up the difference if you really wow us with whatever your next answer is. So, all right. So you get to choose from any category. All categories are open for your last question.
Oh, let's see. Yeah, so it's monsters, paranormal, true, and what's the
suspense and wild card?
Suspense and wild card. I will go with suspense.
Okay, your final question is about the film Midsommar. Okay, so Midsommar is a film about a group of friends who travel to Sweden to participate in a festival that happens once every 90 years, only to find they are part of a pagan ritual. In Sweden, critics consider this film to be what? Your options are A, an accurate portrayal of their pagan history. B, one of the scariest films ever conceived. C, a hilarious black comedy. Or D, extremely offensive to their pagan history.
Can you be offensive to a pagan history? I'm not sure it's possible. So there is a black comedy, and what were the first two again? The first one was something about was it accurate depiction of their pagan history?
Yep, or one of the scariest films ever.
Okay, so I saw it. I don't think it's an accurate depiction of their pagan history. I certainly hope not. And scariest film ever. I didn't think it was scary. I thought it was just kind of weird. And knowing I don't know a lot of Swedes, but I worked with a lot of people from Finland, which I think is close enough, basically, in terms of emotionally. And I think they would find it somewhat funny. So I'm going to go with black comedy, because I almost kind of found it a little funny watching it at points too. So I'm going to say black comedy.
That is correct. Yeah. In Sweden, it is widely considered black comedy. Great job. I give you 4 points for that easily. That was great deductive reasoning there, Scott.
Yeah. So that'll bring him up to 28. He got the right answer also. That's 29. And I'm going to give him 2 points just for pointing out that it's not a scary movie. The whole thing is in daylight. That's not scary. It needs to be dark at some point. So that'll bring it up to 31 points, which coincidentally is the same score that Mike Giordano has right now.
What are the odds? It's all tied up going into the final question.
How often does that happen on this show? Never happens.
Never.
Never happens.
Never tie a point total. I'll say that. All right, Mike. So for all the marbles, for everything, you can choose from any category except suspense, because we're out of suspense questions.
Okay, I'm gonna go with paranormal.
All right. Your question. So there's 2 questions left. There's a really easy question and there's a much harder question. Which one do you want?
I want the hard question.
You want the hard question? Okay. All right. So Linda Blair, who played she was a child actress in The Exorcist. She was nominated for an Academy Award for her work in The Exorcist, but the nomination was almost rescinded when what came to light? Your options are A, her mother admitted to bribing the nomination committee. B, Linda Blair actually believed she was possessed during filming. C, the film violated nearly all of the labor laws around child acting. Or D, another actress actually performed the demonic voice.
Oh, okay. So I'm a big Exorcist fan, and man, I know D is true. I think the actress's name was Mercedes No, or something like that, and she's just like a older actress that had a really smoker's voice. But I don't know if that. Actually, you know what? That sounds like you said it was almost rescinded, right? So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that because I know that that's true.
That is true, and that's the correct answer. Great job, Mike. And her name was Mercedes something.
Mercedes McCambridge.
McCambridge.
That sounds like the most Boston last name ever. McCambridge.
Cantabian. That's 10 points. You knew tons of information about that question. 10 points from me, Mike.
I'm not adding any because I just don't want to be piling on this victory right now.
All right, so that brings our final point total 41 to 31 in the highest scoring game we've had yet.
It really is.
So you're saying I would have won any other week?
Oh, easily.
Okay, I take some solace in that.
Yeah, any other week you had this, Scott.
Came up against Jordan.
Yeah.
But yeah, hey, that's our show for this week. We'll be back tomorrow with our debate show, so tune in then. That will also be about scary movies, and it starts at 7:30. And we're just gonna outro right now, and I will see you all tomorrow night.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Pick a side, yeah. Pick a side, just pick a side, stupid. Pick a side. Pick a side, just pick a side, stupid. Pick a side, yeah. Pick a side, just pick a side, stupid. Pick a side. Pick a side, just pick a side, stupid.